PPA, no info, for the DEA. Every agent's mad cause I'm flagrant. Got myself and my phone in the basement. My teams and queens stay clean. Triple B lyrical dream. I be that. Catch a seat at all the best bands. BFGB flossing, jig on the cover of Fortune, 5 double O. I'm pulling up with the man, I got the know, I got the dough. Put the flow down, pizzazz, black and plus, like Dizzack. Names you run on Trizzack, DJ Rap, Pizzazz.
The NCAA salutes its nearly 500,000 student athletes participating in 24 sports. We cheer for them in the game and in the classroom. The NCAA sponsors 90 national championships in 24 sports across 3 divisions each year. For more information or to find a championship near you, visit ncaa.com. Do you plan to play college sports? Visit ncaa.org/playcollegesports to learn more about NCAA eligibility requirements. The NCAA would like to thank official equipment suppliers Fiskars, Smitty, and Sticks for their support of NCAA championships. Their contributions help enhance the educational and athletic experiences of nearly 500,000 NCAA student athletes. Are you looking for tickets to an upcoming championship? Or did you buy tickets and can no longer attend? Buy and sell with confidence at the NCAA Ticket Exchange, knowing tickets are authentic and 100% guaranteed. For more information, visit ncaa.com/exchange. Tell the world you are here. Share your experiences, connect with other fans, and gain behind-the-scenes access to your favorite teams. For more information, visit ncaa.com/social. The NCAA thanks our corporate champions, AT&T, Capital One and Coca-Cola, and our corporate partners, Buffalo Wild Wings, Buick, Dove, Geico, Google Cloud, Infinity, Intel, Lowe's, Marriott, Nabisco, Pizza Hut, Reese's, Uber Eats, and Wendy's. Their support enhances NCAA championships and the educational and athletic experiences of nearly 500,000 NCAA student athletes. We are all part of a community. We all play a role in keeping our community safe, so while you're watching the game, keep an eye out for suspicious activity. Together we can protect our community. If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Yeah. I'll be on the outside.
starting lineups. First for the visitors, from Charlotte, North Carolina, the Queen's University Royals. On defense, a senior from Ellicott City, Maryland, number 3, Cammie Cates. A senior from Fort Mill, South Carolina, number 4, Katie Simpson. A freshman from Maitland, Florida, number 13, Sydney Hussey. A junior from Riel, New Jersey, number 21, Maggie Fabian. And a senior from Windermere, Florida, number 30, Leah Hughes. At midfield, a senior from Ellicott City, Maryland, number 1, Katie Wardle. A freshman from Vero Beach, Florida, number 17, Sydney Bracken. A sophomore from Pasadena, Maryland, number 23, Kara Blanchard. The attacker is a junior from Simpsonville, South Carolina, number 5, Rachel Perrin. A junior from Jarrettsville, Maryland, number 32, Allie Love. And a goal for the Royals, a junior from Skysville, Maryland, number 34, Chase Brokaw. Queens is coached by assistant coaches Kelly Hamilton and head coach Claire Short. And now let's meet tonight's starting lineup for the University of Tampa Spartans. On defense, a junior from Kings Park, New York, number 9, Kristen Frizzle. A senior from Baltimore, Maryland, number 15, Abby Kakanya. A freshman from Smithtown, New York, number 22, Danielle Waters. Midfielders from Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, number 6, Caroline Forrester. A junior from Cheyenne, Wyoming, number 12, Claire Swanson. A freshman from Whitehall, Maryland, number 23, Erin Sistek. A senior from Colorado Springs, Colorado, number 25, Allie Poplar. The attacker is from Mooresville, North Carolina, number 11, Carly Vaquero. A senior from Arnold, Maryland, number 13, Rachel Crawford. A junior from Berwyn, Pennsylvania, number 33, Maggie Gladden. A sophomore from Middletown, Maryland, number 38, Kristen Staley. And a goal for the Spartans, a sophomore from Evergreen, Colorado, number 10, Bridget Sutter. The Spartans are coached by assistant coaches Callie Gilday and Tina Cifelli and head coach Kelly Gallagher. The University of Tampa and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and fans. We request your cooperation in supporting the student athletes and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, derogatory comments, or other intimidating actions directed at athletes, officials, team representatives, or other fans will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the premises. We appreciate your cooperation in creating a safe and positive game environment. Respect, it's the name of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats to honor America and those who support our freedom at home and abroad. As a reminder to all spectators, please be alert at all times during today's game. Lacrosse balls can be accidentally flown into the seating areas. Be alert to the action. The NCAA and University of Tampa want everyone to have a safe and enjoyable time. Thank you. Today's officials are Joan Sitterly, Natasha Brown, Tom Hopkins, and the alternate is Ashley Jacob. Royals goal scored by number 23, Kara Blanchard. The assist to number 32, Allie Love. Spartans goal scored by number 11, Carly Vaquero. The assist to number 13, Rachel Crawford. A yellow card has been issued to Queens number 28, Hannah Scott. 2 minutes. Tampa goal scored by number 11, Carly Vaquero. The goal was unassisted. Staley. The goal was unassisted. Spartan goal, scored by number 38, Kristen Staley. The goal was unassisted. Timeout, Queens. Fans, take home a souvenir from today's championship. Visit NCAA merchandise stands throughout the venue for great championship gear and memorabilia.
She said she too young, don't want no man. So she gon' call her friends and that's a plan. I just saw the sushi from Japan. Now yo, just wanna
It'll be all right.
assist to number 23, Kara Blanchard. 22, Allie Love. The goals unassisted. Wells goal scored by number 23, Kiara Blanchard. The assist to number 5, Rachel Parrott. The assist to number 12, Claire Swanson. Kristen Staley.
Don't bother zooming in and out. Just leave it like he told me once. I think because the teams use it too. Just keep it like so that the feet, or so that you don't see the road at the top, and then it's like that. That's how they are. All right, I guess because the teams use it, probably. Yeah. I know it.
Tampa goal scored by number 11, Carly Vaquero. Kylie Masterin. The goal was unassisted. Scored by number 11, Carly Vaquero. The assist to number 1, Lauren McNeil.
By Allison Kahn. And now here comes Cammie Case for Queens. Case on the run. Crosses the Tampa line. And a pass over for Hannah Scott now into the corner. And that's Allie Blood. Looking at her options, sends a pass in front and a shot. Sutter, a nice save there against Kylie Masterin, and Abby Kakanya pulls down the rebound, and Paige Johnson's going to try to run this one up, sends a pass up ahead as the Spartans look to gain midfield. That's Rachel Crawford. And a strange bounce as she looked like she was going to lose, and it came back to her. Now Vaccaro on the move. Vaccaro has Staley with her. Out in front, they score. Crawford.
And
Rachel
that play
Crawford.
all started with Bridget Sutter, the sweeper keeper, coming out of the crease, making a play, and then moving in transition, Vaccaro to Crawford. No doubt about it. Spartans up 9-6.
And there was a strange bounce out at midfield when it looked like Rachel Crawford was going to lose possession. And before Queens could control it, it bounced back to her. And she ends up being the finisher on that play. And things starting to open up offensively as UT has gotten goals from 4 different players for this 9-6 lead with 8:03 left here in the first half. And the workhorse, Allie Poplar, out to take this draw once again. Sydney Bracken continues to oppose her on these draws.
We'll continue to emphasize the team effort that Tampa has put forward. Kelly Gallagher getting her players to play the right way with one another. It has been a joy to watch. 9 goals put forward in only 22 minutes of play. And we have a lot more in store for you here on TampaSpartans.tv. First round of the NCAA South Regional. Exciting atmosphere.
And amazingly, the Spartans have scored their 9 goals on just 11 shots on goal.
Yeah, they have made the most of everyone they have put on net. And now here comes Claire Swanson with 3 players coming off the bench, continuing to rotate the players on the field.
Now in front, shot, score! Lizzie Pierpont.
Just another name to add to the scorecard. The Spartans have reached double digits, 10-6.
I was going to say, make that 5 different players that have contributed goals for UT. 7:45 to go here in the first half. And the Spartans getting hot once again, as they've now scored the last 3 goals and 6 of the last 7. At one point it was 5-4 in favor of Queens, and ever since then the Spartans have really taken the game back.
Absolutely. All smiles for Tampa, and you see for Queens right now scratching their head, how can we slow down this high-octane offense? I do not know personally, because Tampa is bringing it right now, all facets of the game. Defense turning into offense.
So Bracken and Poplar once again for another draw.
And even though this is just Tampa's first tournament appearance, have got to compare them to the other teams. They're 3rd in the nation. They have the pieces to potentially win, who knows, new heights, trying to make forward in one game at a time. That is the mentality. You can only win the game that is in front of you. 10-6, 7:45. Crucial sequence for both teams, how they can finish the first half before they go into the intermission.
And Poplar looked like she was going to pull that one down herself. It's loose and picked up instead by Rachel Parrott for Queens. But now the Spartans take it back, as there's a pass that was intended for Danielle Waters, but instead the Royals get it back, and they're heading across the Tampa line. That's Taylor Quaid. Quaid ducks under a couple of checks and now sends a pass in front. There's a shot. Sutter with the stop on Hannah Scott, and Sutter outlets it quickly as the Spartans want to get into a running race here with the Royals as they try to gain midfield. That was Paige Johnson. Checked, she retreats and sends her pass for Waters, who tries the other side of the field, Kristen Frizzol, and she may need help and does. Sends a pass back for Kakanya, and now Abby Kakanya on the run. Kakanya crosses midfield, very near to the sideline, switches hands and sends a pass over for Lauren McNeil. McNeil on the run. Pass over for Crawford. Here come the Spartans once again. Vaccaro, as the sticks go up for the Royals defensively. Now getting inside Kosubinski. A pass in front. Shot hit the goalpost. A good look at the net there by Lizzie Pierpont. And now it's Vaccaro with it. Lauren McNeil now.
Tampa threading the needle. Watch out.
McNeil had some room, gives it to Gladden, and it's on the ground, and they'll call that one. The official right there on the spot for the call against Leah Hughes.
Yeah, costly penalty that time. Can ill afford to do that when Tampa is playing like this, sharing the ball. New shot clock with 6 minutes to go in the first half.
Kayla Kosubinski. And a pass doesn't connect, intended for Lauren McNeil.
The old pick and roll, well defended by the Royals moving forward.
Cami Case, her pass connects up ahead as the Royals cross the UT line on the far side. And they'll get set up in the UT end, putting it in behind the net. That's Kara Blanchard, and resets up top with Allison Kahn. Over now for Scott. Scott flips it back in the corner. And a nice play there, getting inside. And a stick got up on Kara Blanchard as the referee there to call the violation. Still 5:26 to go. A reminder that at halftime of our broadcast, the audio portion will go silent. Do not adjust your viewing device. You will still see video. Just set a timer to be back in time for the call of the second half. In the meantime, here's a free position attempt by the Royals, and instead Blanchard sends a pass, and coming in, and Sutter makes the save. And it was a good opportunity for Kylie Masterin, but Bridget Sutter really finding her groove here as her teammates giving her plenty of help at the offensive end of the field.
The weak side defense by the Spartans up in the grill of these Royal attackers. Nothing coming easy. And now Tampa, we're under 5 minutes to go. Here's Lauren McNeil.
You guys stop there.
Crossing the Queens line, and now Staley with it. Staley takes it down into the corner for Rachel Crawford. Crawford attempted a pass in front, it was knocked down, but she's able to get it back. And to Lauren McNeil again, over for Kayla Kosubinski. And now Pierpont, as the Spartans try to extend this to a 5-goal lead. There's a pass missed by Kosubinski, but there to pick it up for UT was Lizzie Pierpont. And now McNeil on the move. Kosubinski, and in front, the shot, they score! Lizzie Pierpont makes it 11-6 as she gets her second goal of the game, and just 4:10 left here in the first half, and the Spartans really on the run here offensively with their 4th straight goal, and they've scored 7 of the last 8 as things are starting to slip away from Queens, and halftime can't come soon enough for head coach Claire Short to get her team to regroup.
What makes this Tampa team so dangerous is the supporting cast. You know that Ficcaro's going to come to play. You know that Swanson's going to come to play. You know Sutter's going to come to play. You know everybody in that nature. It's players like Pierpont, the freshman, the underclassman, Staley, the sophomore, coming to play, making a factor, and now 11 goals on the scoreboard for the Spartans. Only played 25 minutes. And how about the work by Allie Poplar with these draw controls? She is ready, fearless out there. Here we go.
Poplar and Sydney Bracken, the usual participants in most of the draws thus far in the first half, as that one's chased down and picked up by Sydney Hussey for Queens as it's played back and now sent over for Leah Hughes.
And to touch on what you were saying earlier, Bruce, 14 shots on goal. The Spartans have scored 11 times. That is a ratio they will love to see game in, game out.
Up top with it, Bracken. Pass over for Scott. Scott being defended by Kakanya. And a lob pass for Kara Blanchard in front. Shot and saved by Sutter on a great look at the net by Rachel Parrott. And Sutter looking for some help now from behind her own net. And that one's knocked down, picked up by Queens, and they score. So Allie Blood makes Bridget Sutter pay for the errant pass. So opportunistic there as the Royals cut it now to 11-7 with 3:19 to go in the first half.
Goal like that, take them how you get them. Trailing on the road, make a play. Why not? 11-7. 3:19 to go. And similarly, for the Royals, they were just looking to go into the half. They were getting beat pretty good these last few minutes, but a play like that can change the tide in just a matter of moments.
I'll give them credit for knocking Sutter's pass down in the first place, and then it was just a matter of Allie Blood putting it in the back of the net. And so Bracken and Allie Poplar will step in for yet another draw.
And a play like that, it is nothing more than just playing with heart. There is no skill involved. It's a matter of want and will. And now, here we go. Imperative draw control for both sides.
I like this board. It like turns itself on and loads it in.
And it pops all the way to the Queens line, and the official awarding possession to the Royals. And so Bracken will put it in play and sends it up towards the UT line. Can't get there. Now a pass up ahead. It's on the ground and picked up by Hannah Scott as we're under 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Pushed in behind the UT net now. Blood. Two defenders chasing her. Score! scores. Back-to-back goals for Allie Blood. And so Queens makes it interesting here in the final minutes of the first half. The score now 11-8.
Wow. The junior from Jarrettsville, Maryland, the spin cycle. Allie Blood drawing blood, and it is 11-8 now.
If you came to this game for offense, you're seeing plenty of it. The teams combining for 19 goals already. And still not only an entire half to go, but 2:41 left here in the first half.
Mentioned these teams played back in February. Tampa beat Queens 18-15, so we're on pace right now to beat that score total. Still have 2:41 to go in the first half.
Poplar and Bracken for yet another draw as the official gets the two of them set, and it pops out and still not controlled by either team, chased back into the Royals' end, and they do come out with it. Hussey on the run now, being chased by Forrester, connects with a pass up ahead for Scott across the UT line. Scott sends a pass over. It's Kara Blanchard, and now for Bracken. Bracken being watched there by Forrester. Bracken sends it over for Blanchard, and now on the near side of the field, this is Parrott. Quickly into the corner. They send it right behind the UT net. And behind there is Hannah Scott playing catch with Blood. In front, they score again. And this time, it's Kara Blanchard. And so Queens stopped the bleeding and now is going on a little bit of a run of their own with their third straight goal to make it 11-9.
And now Allie Blood with 3 goals, 2 assists. And for Blanchard, she now has a hat trick. The 3 goal scorers, really, aside from Masterin, you have Blood with 3, Blanchard with 3, and Parrott with 2. So 8 of the 9 goals scored by that trio, putting the team on their back.
1:52 remaining here in the first half, and at the risk of sounding like a broken record, it's once again Poplar and Bracken for yet another draw.
And this is an exciting duel to look at these two. Up in each other's grill right now. Draw control, 2-minute drill, 1:53 left in the first half. Loose ball.
And chased down by both teams. And now finally, it's controlled there by Rachel Parrott, and she's on the run. Parrott across the UT line. And looking for some room, that's Hannah Scott. Scott has 2 UT defenders on her. And here comes Wardle. A pass in front. Scott scores! Hannah Scott. And how about these Queens Royals? The score now 11-10 after the Spartans had gone out in front by 11-6. So 4 straight goals by the visitors.
And for Hannah Scott, that is her 40th goal of the season and the 5th goal scorer for the Royals. And oh my, how this game has turned. It was just 11-7 a few seconds ago. 3 straight for Queens. And now in double digits, 11-10. What a dandy this game has been.
Poplar and Bracken for another draw, and the Spartans need to gain control here to not only try to get a goal back of their own, but to at least kill some clock, settle things down.
And on paper, this game looked to be a real barn burner, and it has lived up to the hype. Do not go anywhere.
As it's knocked free from the stick of Hussey, although the Royals still in possession here as it's Katie Simpson on the run. Simpson, a pass connects at midfield with Parrott. Parrott on the run, the Spartans chasing her. And now this is Kara Blanchard. Blanchard, as the Royals definitely with the blood flowing here as we're down to 52 seconds in the first half.
Shot clock turned off, can hold for the last possession if they choose with 50 to go.
It's weird. It's turn it off.
And so Royals put it in, and this is Blanchard with it. Up top to Wardle. Wardle sends it over. Parrott. And now they move it in behind the net. Back there with it is Hannah Scott to the far side of the field. And right back to Scott. Scott looking in front and had Blanchard, couldn't get it to her. And now opts instead for Allie Blood. Blood brings it out in front. And a pass, they score! Katie Wardle, and with 17 and a half seconds left in the first half, we are all tied at 11 as Queens, very impressive offensively, scoring 5 straight goals after having been down 11-6.
And for Katie Wardle, her 54th goal on the year. But what about the pass? The teardrop from Allie Blood. Now she has 3 goals, 3 assists. And now for the year, 45 goals, 49 assists. So she is not just a one-card player. She can get it done as a scorer and a facilitator.
Makes you wonder as Poplar and Bracken go out for this draw, will this be the last draw of the first half with these goals coming so fast and furious? And now let's see if the Spartans can gain possession and possibly get a final shot before the half expires. And that one heads towards the Queens line, and a bunch of them. Maggie Gladden comes out of the pack with it for UT. Here's Kristen Staley. 5 seconds left on the game clock. Staley behind the net, comes out the other side, takes a shot, hit the goalpost, and the horn goes to end an exciting first half of play as the teams combine for 22 goals, 11 each, as we have reached halftime in the first round NCAA Division II playoffs between the Tampa Spartans and the Queens Royals. We'll be back with the second half between UT and Queens.
Until the teams have
Be sure to get your NCAA merchandise. The merchandise tent will be closing after halftime. All your sports, all the time. Keep up to date on your favorite teams by downloading the official NCAA Sports app now. Time, we proudly request that any current or former members of our armed forces please stand to be recognized. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for these men and women who've given so much to serve our country. Now access the official NCAA digital game program on your mobile device, tablet, or laptop free of charge. Visit ncaa.com/game programs for an inside look at today's championship.
Back with you here at the Namoli Family Athletic and Intramural Complex on the grounds of the University of Tampa campus, and getting set for the second half of play between the Tampa Spartans and the Queens Royals. And Connor Moore, at this point, we might as well just say 0-0 and about to play a 30-minute game.
Yeah, that first 30 minutes was nothing short of spectacular for both sides. And for those of you watching, got to see an exceptional first half. Eager both teams are for this final 30 minutes and win in advance. You want to keep dancing, gotta bring your A game right now. Here we are in the first round of the NCAA South Regional. Have another game to play at 3 o'clock between Rollins and Florida Southern. But we have some unfinished business here. 30 minutes to go.
And this game really amazing, not only tied 11-11, but a lot of the stats are all tied across the board. Each team had 15 shots on goal. Both goaltenders made 4 saves. Each team had 8 turnovers. Each team caused 3 turnovers. Draw controls were pretty close, 13-10 in favor of Queens. And so a very even matchup here between the Spartans and the Queens Royals. Two teams that began the season, you might as well say, against one another. That was Queens' first game of the season, meaning playing down here in West Central Florida for the Spartans. That was actually their second game of the year. And now here they are meeting once again in NCAA playoff action as the second half is officially underway. And, of course, the teams have switched ends, as you see Queens controlling the opening draw and taking it left to right, as this is Cammie Case bringing it up across midfield. Case gets past 2 defenders, has some room, and there's a whistle just 24 seconds into the second half. And now they restart as Parrott sends her pass into the corner. Now in behind the UT net. Back there with it, Blood sends the pass over to the far side and up top to Wardle. Katie Wardle, the pass over for Parrott. In behind the net to Blood once again on the move, and 2 defenders nicely converge on her as the Royals look to pick up where they left off in the late stages of the first half. As you see, going down to the field for UT was Abby Kakanya. Play carries on. There's a shot. They score! Hannah Scott. And Queens does pick up where they left off in the late stages of that first half. This is a game, mind you, that at one point they were trailing 11-6. So they've scored now 6 straight goals to take the lead.
And how about Allie Blood collecting her 4th assist? And it is 12-11. Queens continuing their run at the end of the first half here in the first minute of the second half. And we sound like a broken record talking about how each team will now have to deal with adversity. It's Tampa this time now trailing.
And the Spartans really need to find a way to stop the bleeding here. As much as it was the Carly Vaccaro show in the first half with 5 goals, they need her to either restart that offense or get some other contributors to step up, as everything is going the Royals' way at this point. And there's a ground ball that both teams battle for. And the official with the whistle as possession will be awarded to UT.
For the Spartans, need to continue to feed Carly Vaccaro. She shot 6 times, found the back of the net 5. Continue to operate through her.
And this is Maggie Gladden taking it behind the Royals' net. Gladden still with it. Ducks under a check from Wardle and scores! Maggie Gladden, I think that one fooled Chase Brokaw in goal for Queens. And so finally the Spartans get back on the board, and now we're tied at 12.
Off-balance shot from the distance, right side, not a great angle, but that had no effect on Gladden, and we're tied 12-12. And just like the first half, we've played a minute 35. Neither team wasting any time to make their impact known.
And so Allie Poplar goes out to her familiar position with Sydney Bracken for this draw, as the official moves in to get the 2 of them set. and it almost looks like a bigger crowd now than we had in the first half, maybe some late arrivals.
Reminder, the winner of this game will play noon on Sunday against the winner of Rollins and Florida Southern, and both teams putting forward a deserving performance. A shame one of them will fall short.
Caroline Forrester on the move. Forrester and opts to take that one down into the corner. Sends a pass behind the net to Crawford. Crawford, and now streaking Pierpont, and Forrester hit the goalpost, and Brokaw didn't see where it went as it's in behind the Royals net, and they'll call a push there against UT, and so Queens will take over as Katie Simpson will put it into play.
And what a job by the Royals defense on Caroline Forrester. She had 4 goals when they played earlier this year, but they have kept her in check thus far.
Forrester off the score sheet altogether this afternoon. No goals, no assists. The optimist would say yet.
Well, she's had the looks. She's had a couple where she was right there and put it on the money. Give credit when credit's due to the defense holding up, but the Royals now on the push.
Kara Blanchard, her pass over for Bracken, and now here's Katie Miller over for Wardle, and over to the corner. Down there is Hannah Scott, a pass to Blood. They'll try the other side of the field now. And moving in, looking for some room, and doesn't shoot. That's Blanchard. And now opts for a pass to Blood down behind the net, and an errant pass that rolls out of bounds, so mishandled by Queens. And a gift there on the turnover as the Spartans will get to put this one into play, although some pressure from Queens, some help needed for Abby Kakanya, and she finds it with a pass up ahead to Erin Sistek. Her pass now to Swanson, crossing midfield. Claire Swanson over the Queens line to Forrester, and Forrester is going to take that one all the way down in behind the Royals net. A pair of 6s back there as she's watched by Mitrosik. Forrester to Swanson now. Swanson's got some room, breaks in, ducks under a check, and the official right there to call that one. So a free position attempt here coming up for Claire Swanson.
Claire Swanson running downhill. Let's see, can the Spartans retake the lead?
Swanson showing shot, does take it, and it goes out of bounds behind the Queens net, and UT puts it back in. Staley in front, and working Vaccaro, and somehow Brokaw stops that one.
And Brokaw, that's her best save of the day. Knocking on the door was Vaccaro, was hoping to get her 6th goal, to no avail.
Cammie Case weaving her way through traffic. And now Case, a pass up across the Queens line. That's Blanchard over for Wardle. Wardle has one of the Queens goals and has been a presence. She does also have an assist as they send it over to the far side of the field to Bracken. Now here's Blanchard again to Wardle. And Wardle is going to try the corner as Parrott flips it over for Blood. And Blood, no blue shirts in front of the net, so she has to return the favor over to Parrott. And now Blood once again being watched by Allie Poplar. Pass in behind the net, and a pass in front. They score. A good passing play as Kara Blanchard finishes, puts that one in behind Bridget Sutter. And for Blanchard, that's her 4th goal of the game.
Yeah, now 50 on the year for Blanchard, and it was a wide open cut that was unguarded. Rarely see that by the Spartan defense, and they're huddling up right now, having a word what the confusion was on that one. But for Queens, beautiful play. 13-12 as we played about 5 minutes here in the second half.
Plenty of offense here, and there's still plenty of lacrosse left in this game, never mind the second game later today. We're only 4 minutes, 53 seconds into this second half. That second game, by the way, that Connor referred to between Rollins and Florida Southern, that will be a 3 p.m. start here on this field as Poplar and Bracken go out for yet another draw. Although the officials are going to change positions.
Hey, give a shout out to the Sunshine State Conference representing themselves well. Have 3 of the 4 teams, of course. And Queens representing their conference, the South Atlantic.
And there's the whistle. It pops out, and Swanson looked like she was going to pull that one down for UT, but instead it's Sydney Hussey for the Royals. And a pass now up ahead across the UT line. And this is Blanchard. Blanchard leading the Royals with 4 goals this afternoon. As Parrott sends a pass into the corner, Blood behind the net. And streaking in front was Katie Miller. They couldn't get it to her. Instead, it's up top with Wardle. And now Blanchard again. Blanchard being watched by Danielle Waters, sends a pass to Blood in behind the net. Blood looking in front, and none of her teammates in a prime scoring area. So she sends it over instead to Blanchard. Back to Blood now. Allie Blood, 35 seconds on the shot clock. And a pass up top. Here comes Parrott. Opts for the pass way up top. And streaking in is Hannah Scott. Scores! Hannah Scott with her 3rd goal of the game. And Queens with a 14-12 lead.
And for the Royals, they're controlling the time of possession here in the second half. Everything in Tampa territory. Things going well. Now with a 2-goal lead, how will the Spartans bounce back?
Yeah, Queens is making their possessions count. They're in no hurry, feeling good about themselves with this lead on the road.
And now Scott has a hat trick on only 3 shots, so she's doing a fine job. Add in an assist. And for Blood, how about 3 goals, 4 assists, joined by Blanchard, who also has 4. Spartans defense will need to slow them down as they are thriving right now for the Royals.
Poplar and Bracken on the last draw looked like it was going to be controlled by Claire Swanson, and the Royals were able to come out with it. And the same case here, as this is Sydney Bracken with it, although a loose ball at midfield, and the Spartans, are they going to come out of the pack with it? Rachel Crawford, and she goes down right in front of her own sideline. And indeed, possession remains with UT.
Spartans cross midfield. Swanson with it.
And now on the run and knocked down. That was Lizzie Pierpont, although she's able to get it back. And UT going to work here as Maggie Gladden has it. Sends a pass across the other side of the field. Crawford in behind the net. Back there is Staley. Kristen Staley. She's got 2 goals of her own. Up top to Forrester. Staley also has an assist. Here's Swanson with it.
A lot of game, but an imperative play.
Forrester scores! Caroline Forrester, and now she gets in the goal column, and it's 14-13.
Yeah, she's too good of a player to keep off all game long. Silky smooth that time down the middle, and the Spartans cut the deficit to 14-13.
A very important goal as the Spartans were watching Queens have their way. And so UT converts their 2nd goal of the half, and it keeps it a 1-goal game. And at this rate, you have to say, for the time being, with as quickly as these goals are coming, it was 11-11 at halftime, and so far 3-2 in favor of the Royals in the first just over 7 minutes of the second half, as Allie Poplar once again a draw here against Sydney Bracken. And that one, the official blowing the whistle, and they're going to redo that one. And it makes you wonder, Connor, what would Queens do without Sydney Bracken, who I believe has taken every draw for them so far this afternoon?
Yeah, these two have gone head-to-head pretty much all game long, Poplar and Bracken. We've seen a few other Spartans take some draws, but it has been this showdown time in, time out.
And it is Claire Swanson this time as she runs it down quickly into the Queens end of the field. And a pass to Rachel Crawford. Crawford, as Staley flashes in front of the net, they're unable to get it to her. Forrester, UT looking to tie this up. Here's Pierpont. Swanson on the move now. Swanson surveying her options, pushes into the corner. Crawford quickly over to Staley on the other side. Staley, pass inside, that one misses. And a loose ball still, and Caroline Forrester comes out of the pack with it. Good work by her as she was outnumbered, but the Spartans retain possession, and the shot clock continues to run. Vaccaro sends it to Gladden, and now Forrester will go back to the other side to Swanson. Lizzie Pierpont. Pierpont, a little burst as she gets in the slot area, and the official right there to call that one against Bracken. And so a free position attempt coming up here for Lizzie Pierpont. And Pierpont already has 2 goals in this game.
Had a great look, just a little bit too high on the shot.
And now Staley, and the stick comes up a little high on her.
Yeah, back-to-back calls now by Natasha Brown, so the game flow is changing right now as we have 21:38 to go, and the Spartans 1 shot away from tying us up.
Kristen Staley. And let's see which route she goes here. The temptation is to shoot to try to even it up, but there's plenty of time left.
Queens penalty number 30. Leah Hughes, 2 minutes.
And a 2-minute penalty has been called against Leah Hughes of Queens. And so here's Staley, pulls it back. And the Spartans with a fresh shot clock as they send it in behind the net to Crawford. Rachel Crawford looking in front, and Maggie Gladden was cutting and weren't able to get it to her. Instead, it's Claire Swanson with it.
From the Spartans right now with the man advantage. Look to get the ball in Carly Vaccaro's stick right now. She has had a quality game thus far.
Maggie Gladden took an errant stick there and looked at the official waiting for the call as play carried on. This is Claire Swanson with it now. Pass Vaccaro, and oh, what a save by Brokaw. A great look at the net by Vaccaro, and Chase Brokaw says not this time.
Wow, what a save that time. Vaccaro, quality look. But the bigger save on display. Now 1 minute on the shot clock, but loose ball collected by the Spartans.
Here comes Vaccaro. Spartans on the run, outnumbering the Royals. A shot, and it goes wide and out of play. Possession remains with UT.
Carly would love to have that shot back. She was lunging forward.
Here comes Claire Swanson quickly, and the defense collapses on her, and she does get the call. The Spartans applying some pressure now, and an opportunity here for Claire Swanson to get herself into the goal column. Another name that we're surprised isn't there yet. And another whistle. It's a procedure call against UT, so turned over as Queens. There's still 45 seconds left in the Leah Hughes penalty.
Yeah, 22 left in the game, and this game will come down to the attention to detail. Which team can stay poised and make the plays as the Royals now in Spartan territory.
Knocked down by Rachel Crawford, and able to recover was Kara Blanchard. Blanchard has the penalty down to 30 seconds. And here on the near side of the field, it's Parrott. Sends it back for Blanchard. Kara Blanchard backing up as they're waiting for that penalty to run down. 15 seconds left on it.
Smart decision by head coach Claire Short right now. Get back to full strength. We'll have about 45 on the shot clock once the penalty expires.
Blanchard, she of the 4 goals thus far, sends a pass over to Wardle, and it's thrown away, and the penalty has expired, and just in time as Queens turns it over, and UT puts it in play. In the person of Kristen Frizzol, there's a pass up ahead, doesn't connect. So turned over, here comes Queens on the run. And that's Masterin, sends it to Hannah Scott. Scott on the run. And a nice save made there by Bridget Sutter. Sutter looking for an outlet and dangerous. And it's cutting through was Rachel Parrott. And now the Spartans advance. Crawford, a quick pass up ahead, connecting Caroline Forrester on the run. Forrester, as the defense closes on her and pushes her down, and now she does get the call.
Yeah, delayed whistle that time, but Tampa was 73 on the shot clock. Can get a good look here. But how about the goaltenders stepping up big for both sides, making some key saves?
Caroline Forrester, who has gotten on the board, puts it in play, sends it over for Vaccaro. Rachel Crawford down behind the net. Crawford looking in front, and another whistle. And we're going to have a timeout called here with 18:37 to go in the second half. And Coach Kelly Gallagher wants to talk to her Spartans as they have an opportunity here to tie it up. And again, this is one of those, the next goal will be very important moments, because if you're the Spartans, the game is tied and it's a brand new game at that point. If it's Queens, it's some real momentum being on the road and staving off Spartans offense that's at home and has some potency to it. They do need to make sure, Queens, they need to make sure that they continue to limit the likes of Claire Swanson, who hasn't gotten on the board yet, Caroline Forrester, who only has 1 goal. You don't want to get her on track.
Certainly, and let's take a look inside the team's stats right now. 34 total shots for Tampa, 20 on net, and they've scored 13 of those times. And for Queens, they've shot 22 times, 19 on goal. So the times they have shot, for the most part, they've been right on the money, have scored 14 of those 19. Oddly enough, there have been 16 fouls committed by the Royals, only 8 for the Spartans, but it is the 29 draw controls that have been successfully won 16 times by Queens. And then the individual play. Early in this game, Carly Vaccaro got going and the Spartans jumped to an early lead, but for Queens, the play of particularly Allie Blood, the 3 goals, 4 assists, and the 3 goals, she only took 3 shots, so she scored every time she shot it.
Well, not to mention Vaccaro and Blanchard have 9 goals between the two of them. Carly Vaccaro has 5, Blanchard has 4, so they've had the hot hand, but Queens has really gotten things rounded out with some other players that have stepped up. Hat-tricks thus far from Blood and from Scott, and an important timeout here is obviously Kelly Gallagher wants to put something in place to get the Spartans back out in the lead. This has been a very, in case you're just joining our broadcast, it's been a game of streaks. The Queens Royals scored the first goal of the game, then Tampa went on a run, scored 4 in a row. Queens came back, scored 4 in a row, and then it was really all Tampa from there. They scored 7 of the next 8 goals, but the tide has really turned as Queens has taken control, and at one point they were down 11-6, came all the way back to take the lead and are clinging to this 1-goal lead, 14-13, as the players come back out on the field here following that timeout.
And that's a terrific point, Bruce. You hit the nail on the head. You know who the main catalysts are for both teams. They're going to get the job done. It's that secondary support system that comes through in the unlikely source that scores late that will propel one of these teams to victory.
And now the Spartans put it back in. This is Claire Swanson up top to Forrester. Forrester over from Maggie Gladden and returns to Forrester once again. Caroline Forrester tries to get around Katie Wardle and is chased into the corner, and now they send it back behind the net to Crawford. Crawford, and unable to get it in front to Staley. Still with it, and Crawford hangs on and now flips it to Staley in behind the net. Staley has 2 goals and 1 assist. Staley looking in front. Vaccaro flashes and they can't get it to her. Staley, good defense there by Queens. Jillian Mitrosik, and it's sent back to Staley once again. And behind the net is Crawford. Crawford looking in front and seems to have a step. Has her back to the net. Crawford wants to get a shot away, does, and a nice save made there by Brokaw. And she'll settle it down as Queens will look to start out of their own end. And Brokaw now with 7 saves in this game.
Brooke has started out slow, but has come on strong here in the second half. Spartans easily could have had a few more goals on the board.
And Queens, led by Kara Blanchard, into the UT end. Blanchard with 4 goals and 1 assist. As it's down in the corner now with Blood. And here's a pass up top. Allison Kahn over for Wardle. And now in the near corner. In behind the UT net, and working her way out in front and not able to get a shot off.
The swarming defense for Tampa players there with the hit, but the Royals still have it. Yeah, new shot clock.
Good hustle by Parrott. As she's in behind the UT net, breaks free of the check, and a nice job by Sutter to come out. There's a shot, they score! Hannah Scott puts that one past Bridget Sutter. And so that important next goal comes off the stick of the Queens Royals. And the score now 15-13 with 16:38 to go here in the second half.
And for Scott now joins Blanchard with 4 goals, and that one right between the wickets of Bridget Sutter. What a shot. And with 16:38, Queens up by 2.
Yeah, and the longer this game goes on and the more they have the lead, the more confidence is just going to continue to build and try to take that all the way to the finish line. Obviously, still plenty of time left here and only a 2-goal lead. However, they've got to feel good about themselves right now, especially after overcoming what was a big deficit at one point.
Absolutely, and as we look for the draw right now, we see Lizzie Pierpont out there for the Spartans, so Kelly Gallagher mixing and matching, and who other than Sydney Bracken there joining for the Royals. Big draw. Who gets the possession?
28 from 5. I already did it.
And the draw controls to this point have been 16-13 in favor of the Royals. The ball just hasn't seemed to bounce the Spartans' way. As close as that statistic is, a lot of these look like they're going to start off in the stick of a UT player, and it ends up being one of the Royals. And lo and behold, it's Bracken with it herself now, crossing the UT line. Bracken had a little opening and then sent a pass over for Blanchard, who gets around her check, opts for a pass into the corner instead, out in front. Oh, and that would have been dangerous if it would have connected, and it's loose. Now picked up just inside the Queens line. That's Staley. Staley, a pass into the corner. Crawford takes it in behind the net. Rachel Crawford over for Staley now. And up top, Kosubinski, as we're starting to see some of these players back out on the field that we didn't see until the latter stages of the first half. I'm talking about players like Kosubinski and McNeil. As you see the turnover, and here come the Royals. And the Spartans go for the interception and miss. And play carries on as Queens takes it down into the Tampa end, and Blood slowed down there. And now wide open with a great look and a bounce shot and score. That was Kylie Masterin, and just an all-around good play by Queens. They take a 3-goal lead now at 16-13.
Open lane that time down the middle. And Kylie Masterin scores again. And look at that bench right now, jumping up and down. Queens having some fun here at Namoli. Still got 15 to go.
And that's one element that's been missing for the Spartans today, is the fun.
Yeah, well, it started that way. They were all smiles until the Queens Royals came to play, and they made their indentation. And we still have a lot of lacrosse to go. This game has been back and forth, nitty-gritty nail-biter. And it's Pierpont back out there for the draw.
Spartans need to get a goal. Still plenty of time left, but things could really start to slip away if the next one that goes in the net is out of the stick of a Queens Royals player.
And the beauty of competition, it only takes one goal for the Spartans to change dramatically, get the crowd involved, and change this tide.
And the official with the call there against the Spartans, Claire Swanson, unhappy with that decision as she goes off the field. as you see it roll out over on the far side. And it's going to be put back in play now by Kylie Yang, another new face for UT. As Bridget Sutter needs some help being chased around her own cage. And Sutter outlets here on the near side, and going back behind the net is Abby Kakanya. A pass up ahead that connects with McNeil. McNeil spins around her check and crosses midfield.
And this scoring drought has now amassed 8 minutes for Tampa since that Forrester goal have been hung up on 13 for quite some time.
Maggie Gladden over to Kosubinski. And perhaps Coach Gallagher thinking that some new faces might shake things up.
And we get a whistle here, but that look for Vaccaro, got to get her going again. She scored those 5 goals early. She has been the game changer for Tampa. Let's see what we can do here with the ball.
And now Vaccaro with the free position attempt. Vaccaro opts to back out and sends a pass over instead for Gladden, and behind the net, Staley. And now here's Lauren McNeil on the move. McNeil looking for some room, gets through a couple of defenders, and the official looked like there was going to be a stoppage. Play carries on, and now Pierpont. And now we do get a whistle that stops play.
And for the Spartans, down by 3, but you do not need to get them all back. Just 1 goal at a time, 13:44 to work with. And a pivotal stage of this ball game.
And the official on the far side of the field over at the scorers table. And now put back in play, Kayla Kosubinski. A couple of spin moves. Kosubinski can't get a shot away. Vaccaro, a pass in front. They score! Maggie Gladden. And the Spartans finally get back on the goal column, and it's 16-14.
That play has worked for the Spartans a couple times today. It's Vaccaro over the top to Gladden on the money, and it's 16-14 in that scoring drought, which was nearing 10 minutes. Spartans happy to add another one to the total. Look to change the momentum now and retake this game.
And you had made the point that they were on pace for that first meeting of the season when it was 18-15. The Spartans won, so obviously a combination of 33 goals, and now they're at 30, and there's still 13 and a half minutes left here in the second half, so that is certainly at risk of being surpassed somewhat soon at the pace that these two teams are going.
Yeah, first game here in the NCAA South Regional. It's been a showdown. Still a lot of lacrosse to play. Lizzie Pierpont for the draw for Tampa, countered by Bracken.
And the Royals, not deterred by that Spartans goal, some of the Royals players still dancing on the sidelines despite watching their lead cut to 2 as Pierpont pushes it ahead now for Gladden. Maggie Gladden changes hands, takes it in behind the Queen's net. Gladden fires a pass for Swanson. Swanson over to Rachel Crawford. And now for Kosubinski. And it may, Connor, it may be a player like Kayla Kosubinski, who they're not expecting, that finds the back of the net and contributes what would be a crucial goal for the Spartans, as you saw them throw that one away.
Both teams have been so good in transition, and now coming across hot, moving forward, Katie Wardle.
Wardle trying to get around her check, sends a pass into the corner. As that's Taylor Quaid, sends a pass over for Parrott. And now the far side of the field, up top again to Hannah Scott. Scott looking like she's quarterbacking the offense here. She sends a pass back to Quaid. And now behind the net, Parrott, as they settle things down, reset up top. Scott on the move. Hannah Scott has some room if she can exploit it. Abby Kakanya shuts her down. Now Blanchard Blanchard was trying to get around Danielle Waters, so instead it's Hannah Scott, a pass down into the corner. Quaid being watched by Kristen Frizzol. There's a pass and goes right to Bridget Sutter.
Spartans catch a break. Mention this has been a mini-series that Queens won the first 5 games, but Tampa won that game earlier, first win against Queens, so they're trying to essentially equalize to get some revenge, but the Spartans now got some numbers in transition.
On the run, there's a pass for Vaccaro, and save made by Brokaw as she saw Carly Vaccaro streaking in, and now Brokaw outlets quickly as the Royals, as the stick got up there from Rachel Crawford on Katie Miller, and it's turned over. Here comes UT back the other way. Rachel Crawford needs some help, gives it to Kosubinski, who just stepped on the field. And she has a stick knocked out of her hand. And Kosubinski, how about that? She's going to come away with it after all. And now there's a whistle stopping play with 10 minutes, 56 seconds to go here in the second half.
Holy cow, the physicality in this game amping up right now. 10 minutes, who wants it more?
And you really need to have your head on a swivel. Otherwise, those are the turnovers that could be the difference.
Definitely, that will be the difference in the game at this stage. Both teams playing aggressive, and the Spartans working the X now with Staley. See what they can do here.
Staley sends it up top for Lauren McNeil. Good burst of speed. 2 defenders close on her. McNeil goes back to Kosubinski instead. Kosubinski tries to find the slot in front. They score! Lauren McNeil. And now it's a 1-goal game as McNeil is the latest Tampa player to get in the goal column.
You said it earlier, Bruce. Kosubinski with the pass. McNeil down the middle. And the Spartans now 2 straight goals. Wow, what a finish this game will be. Crowd on the edge of their seat. Some tension at Namole.
And that's one of those unexpected players, Lauren McNeil, 6 goals in 15 games, and comes through with a big one here.
And she was unguarded. The Royals not paying much attention to her. Why not cut down the middle? She gets it, and we had mentioned just how good Brokaw has been in net. Nothing you can do about that as McNeil knocking on the door, executes. And the Spartans now, it is Pierpont out there, so she's been out there a few times now, late, looking to win the draw.
And up against Sydney Bracken once again as a last-minute adjustment made there. Sarah Bell for UT, changing her position as it's sent back by the Royals to Katie Simpson, and now up ahead comes Katie Wardle. Wardle on the run, crosses the UT lines, got some room, and Wardle can't sneak behind the defense, so she's going to take it all the way down behind the UT net. And now here's a pass for Katie Miller, and Scott with it now. Hannah Scott looks towards the corner and continues to hold, and now finally gives it for Parrott. And she's on the move with a pass over to the other side to Blood. Blood as Scott flashed in front. Blood keeps it herself, and oh, what a save by Bridget Sutter. And equally important is she controls the rebound.
Saving the day, Bridget Sutter that time, but the defense by the Spartans standing tall.
And tiny Paige Johnson with a pass up ahead to Kosubinski on the run. There's a pass down low, and Crawford ran out of room, couldn't get a shot away. However, McNeil coming in, and it rolls right to Brokaw. I was waiting to see if there was going to be a whistle. It looked like a stick came up high.
Laura McNeil was feeling it that time, threading the needle, coming seemingly from nowhere as we have a timeout now. 9:20 to go in the South Regional opening round. Did not go anywhere. Bruce, what a game it has been. A matter of runs by both sides, and the Spartans on a mini run right now, 2 straight goals. Momentum starting to change back into their fashion.
And they've also both clamped down a little bit offensively. We saw 22 goals in the first half by the two teams, each with 11. And now it's gotten a little more defensive here in the second half. 5-4 so far. Queens has outscored Tampa in the second half.
One of my favorite sayings, defense wins championships, and it's nitty gritty right now, 9:20, and it's going to come down to which team can can make more stops.
Yeah, and speaking of stops, how about Chase Brokaw? She now has 10 saves in this game. She's faced 25 shots and has really come up large for her team, keeping them in this game and helping them cling to that 1-goal lead.
Yeah, when it was 16-13 about a few minutes ago, Queens was very content with head coach Claire Shore to work the clock, try to slow down the tempo of the game, whereas the Spartans, they were aggressive. They knew that the time to turn was now, and they scored 2 goals, and now 2 huddles, very different. Look at the Spartans now, attention to detail, whereas Queens is more so just trying to catch their breath and rest out there. As it is very hot on the field, sunny day in downtown Tampa, Florida. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's been a barn burner.
Well, this is going to be a case of where obviously the Spartans would love to get the next goal and tie it up, but they don't have to do it at the drop of a hat. There is still plenty of time left. Next goal will tie it if they're fortunate enough to be the next one to score. So you don't have to take the shot if you don't have it. Look for a quality opportunity, use the shot clock, and let's see how they look coming out of this timeout, as they've got a little bit of momentum now, and of course the home crowd behind them. And what continues to be another beautiful afternoon here in West Central Florida, as the sun is out and the temperature is all the way up to 88 degrees.
And we are about ready to resume play coming out of the timeout. Possessing the ball, Cammie Case, the senior from Maryland, with the ball moving forward.
And here she goes up across her own line and crossing midfield now. Now across the UT line. Case finally flips a pass to Allie Blood. Blood heads towards the UT net, sends a pass back there to Hannah Scott. And now for Miller. Allison Kahn. She sends it over for Blanchard. And now to the other side of the field. Working over there is Taylor Quaid to Blood. And the Royals with a perimeter offense right now.
Yeah, pesky defense by the Spartans now under 40 seconds, trying to find a rhythm are the Royals.
And no blue shirts whatsoever in any of the prime scoring areas. Now finally breaking in is Wardle. Oh, Bridget Sutter with the save there. It almost looked like it may have gone off of her helmet.
I believe it did, yes. The stagnant offense until the Royals surge forward and now have a whistle. So they're knocking on the door, looking to capitalize.
Katie Wardle is going to get the free position attempt. She looked like she was a little slowed there.
Again, though, the save by Sutter will be challenged by Wardle, one-on-one battle from straight away.
Penalty to number 26, Paige Johnson, 2 minutes.
2-minute penalty on Paige Johnson is the call.
And so Wardle getting ready here one-on-one against Bridget Sutter. And Wardle, who has 1 goal and 1 assist, opts to pass it instead, and now it's in behind the UT net.
Yeah, shocker, she didn't shoot that one.
In front, though, oh, another save by Sutter on a great look at the net by Allison Kahn. And so Sutter outlets a long pass now that does connect with Aaron Sistek.
And those are 2 big league saves by Sutter. What a job.
And the Spartans all the way down now into Queens territory as Vaccaro sends a pass down low to Kristen Staley. Staley pops out on the other side, sends it over for Kosubinski, up top to Lauren McNeil. McNeil over for Gladden. And here's Vaccaro again. Staley behind the net being watched back there by Katie Miller. Up top, Kosubinski looking for some room to work. 3 defenders there. Kosubinski carries on, sends it to Kristen Staley. Staley being watched, looking out in front keeps it herself and now sends a pass for Kosubinski. There's a defender right in front of her. Kosubinski backs it out and sends it to Maggie Gladden. Gladden to her left has Carly Vaccaro, gives it to her. Vaccaro opts for Kosubinski instead, and a swarming defense. That one's on the ground, and it rolls right to Chase Brokaw as she takes it back towards the end line and now gets some help there from Leah Hughes.
25 seconds left on the Paige Johnson penalty. Crossing midfield are the Royals in Tampa territory.
There's Taylor Quaid on the run. Quaid's not going to be able to get a shot away. And there's a pass that's knocked down, and a good play there by Kristen Frizzol for UT as the Spartans are going to kill off this penalty against Paige Johnson as that has now expired. And the Spartans get it up ahead. Here's Vaccaro over the Queens line. Vaccaro on the run, watches a defender go by her. Now a pass in close. Maggie Gladden, nice save by Brokaw. And Brokaw covers up in her own crease.
How good have these goaltenders been, making key save after save? Clock is a factor now, under 6 minutes.
Yeah, goaltenders plural is right, because both ends of the field, we've seen some nice stops. 11 saves for Brokaw and 8 for Bridget Sutter. As the Royals...
Ooh, and 2 Spartans hitting heads there. Not a sight you want to see. Both slow to get up.
The Royals were on the move as Rachel Parrott was headed towards midfield, and the training staff over on the far side for UT.
And the Florida Southern Moccasins joining the game. Why not? It's a close one. They play after, of course, against the Tars of Rollins.
And that was Rachel Crawford and Kayla Kosubinski.
Yellow card was from Tampa's number 13, Rachel Crawford.
The 2 UT players that went down. And to make matters worse, Rachel Crawford, 2-minute penalty.
And it will be a fresh shot clock now. 2-minute penalty late in this game.
Clock now in the game down to just 5:43 remaining. And as you just mentioned, 2 minutes that UT will be shorthanded on the Rachel Crawford call as the ball is in play. And this is Rachel Parrott with it for Queens. And now here on the near side, Hannah Scott. Scott sends it down behind the net. Allie Blood waiting for it back there. Her pass on the other side to Sydney Bracken. And now up top with Wardle. Kylie Masterin sends it over for Parrott. And now into the corner once again. 1.5 minutes remaining on the Rachel Crawford penalty. And now up top once again, Kara Blanchard working the perimeter in Queens. In no hurry to take a shot here on this possession.
Yeah, surprising with the man advantage is now 4:50 to go. Crunch time at Namoli.
And now Hannah Scott being watched back there by Aaron Sistek and curling her on the front, and a nice play there defensively by UT as Danielle Waters able to cause a turnover. And so the Spartans, who are one player short because of the Rachel Crawford penalty, they get the ball and trying to work out of their own end as it's sent up ahead. Now Lauren McNeil crossing midfield. McNeil absorbs the push, and the call, the official right there on the spot against Queens. And so McNeil puts it back in.
And we are south of 4 minutes to go. 15 on the shot clock. Check that, 15 on the penalty, 55 on the shot clock.
And now on the move, Kristen Staley Staley for Vaccaro.
And the Spartans back at full strength.
Maggie Gladden now over for McNeil. Crawford returns to the field, so not only does a penalty over, but it means that she's okay after the collision with her teammate Kosubinski. Here's Crawford on the move, takes a shot that goes wide and out of play, and possession remains with UT. As there's now 21 seconds on the shot clock. Game clock down to 3:18. Vaccaro for Gladden up top. Lauren McNeil on the move. McNeil tries to get around the defender. That was Sydney Bracken. McNeil still with it.
Only 3 on the shot clock. Got to make something happen.
And Staley may not have known as the shot clock expires. She's unable to get a shot away.
How about the defensive stand by the Royals? What a stop.
And now Brokaw, the goaltender, in possession and pushes it up ahead. It misses. It was intended for Cammie Case, but the Spartans come up with it. Crawford over to Vaccaro. Carly Vaccaro on the move, splits the defenders, hit the crossbar, and a big rebound comes out to Maggie Gladden, and now she sends it over as Megan Singelman out on the field now for UT.
Holy cow, a matter of inches, Vaccaro that close to tying it up.
And behind the net, Kristen Staley. And streaking is Forrester. They get it to her, but not in time for a quality look at the net, so she hangs on. And a return pass now for Vaccaro. Vaccaro looking to get around her check. That's Maggie Fabian. She can't. Vaccaro backs up, sends a pass for Maggie Gladden. That missed. And now Gladden scoops it up as Masterin tried to chase it down for the Royals.
And we are under 2 minutes.
And now on the move, Pierpont, and chasing it down. UT once again coming up with it. Forrester, that gives a new shot clock as Forrester looks to go one-on-one against Ward. Oh, and then that one may have hit the goalpost.
It did. The third time this sequence alone. We have a whistle, though. 1:43 left. Queens up 16-15. Spartans looking to make some noise.
So Caroline Forrester, a free position attempt here. And let's see which way she goes. And showing shot, it bounces wide. And the rebound picked up by the Spartans. Now it's on the ground once again. Pierpont comes away with it. Now it's loose. And Pierpont chases it down on the far side of the field. Close checking there by Cammie Case. The Spartans in possession. Oh, it's turned over. Brokaw is able to intercept the pass. And now whistles, stopping play. As there's 1 minute 21 seconds remaining, and it looks like we may have a timeout being called, and the Royals excited on their sideline.
What a game it has been. 81 seconds left, and you said it, Bruce, 3 shots the Spartans had right there hit the crossbar. Cannot make that stuff up.
It's a game of inches. And this is where you see what both teams are made of in terms of the Spartans, and can they either cause a turnover?
Well, the shot clock is basically off right now with 81 seconds, so we're going to see some press coverage with the Spartans defense. And for Queens, they're going to try to play a little bit of keep away, and maybe if the Spartans get out of position, to put the icing on the cake with the goal.
But can Queens be smart with the ball? We've seen some passes today that shouldn't have been made that have resulted in turnovers. So as much as they can just use the rest of the game clock, one bad pass could result in a potentially game-changing turnover. And obviously that's what's being talked about in both huddles right now. Certainly Tampa has to be opportunistic, and they're going to have to create a turnover if they're going to get a chance to get the ball back.
And that's exactly what Coach Kelly Gallagher emphasizing and preaching in the huddle here. Just give ourselves one last chance. Get the ball back. If you get the chance, we'll live with the result.
And we mentioned that the game between these two teams back on February 16th ended in an 18-15 UT victory. This one is 16-15 so far, and this time it's Queens on the winning side of that score. So let's see what happens here as the teams return to the field following that timeout, and we're seeing already down at the Queens end of the field where Cammie Case is going to put it into play. There's two Spartans that are going to pressure her.
Drama now. Majority of the crowd on their feet.
And she puts it into play and gets some pressure from both Crawford and Maggie Gladden and opts for her goaltender instead. And now Brokaw, as the clock continues to run, Brokaw is going to be watched and now chased as she runs it up herself.
The sweeper keeper.
And
out of the
pass
crease.
Does connect with Katie Simpson, played back. Oh, and taken down was Rachel Crawford.
And the Spartans get the ball. Holy cow, 50 seconds, clock running.
And there's a call that if you're Coach Claire Short, you really don't want to see. A play that you don't want to see. And so smartly, now of course we're going to get a timeout taken by Kelly Gallagher. And that's one of those discipline things that just gives a coach fits and keeps him up at night.
Smart timeout by Coach Kelly Gallagher, and the Spartans got what they wanted. They have one last chance to try to equalize this game at 16. 46 seconds to go, but yeah, costly mistake there by Queens with that penalty. Did not need to do that. The shot clock was off. Can the Spartans make them pay?
Well, this is a case of where I don't think you want to take it all the way down to your shot comes with 5 seconds left, because with the way this game has been, with crossbars, with goalposts, with chances that you would think would go in and don't, you got to leave yourself time to get the rebound if you don't convert and still have time to get the tying goal in the net. So let's see what they do clockwise in terms of how much they let run down before they really look for a quality look at the net.
In all likelihood, the Spartans make a few passes to begin, but yeah, looking at the rack attack, trying to get this game knotted up at 16 as soon as possible. Not going to waste too much time, I do not expect.
And it'll be also interesting to see whose number they call. You've got someone like Claire Swanson that hasn't scored yet today, but you know that she can find the back of the net. Do you ask her to all of a sudden finally get her first goal of the game, or do you go with the hot hand and say, let's get it to Carly Vaccaro, let's get it to Maggie Gladden? They've got 8 goals between the two of them. Let's see which way Kelly Gallagher draws this one up as the players come back out on the field following that timeout.
And this is the environment regional play where stars are born. Who will step up for either side?
46.5 seconds left here in regulation, and the Spartans put it back into play as it's in the stick of Rachel Crawford, who takes it down in behind the Queen's net. Crawford looking in front, and they're keeping an eye on Vaccaro. And here's Pierpont. Pierpont, don't forget that she's got a couple of goals herself this afternoon. Pierpont wheeling and dealing, hit the goalpost, and there's that rebound, and now a loose ball as they battle for it. They come out of the pack with it, and it's still loose. 17 seconds left. And possession awarded to Queens, and Brokaw, she's going to be pressured by Gladden and by Swanson. Sends a pass over for Katie Simpson, and there goes the horn, and the Queens Royals are able to outlast the Tampa Spartans by a score of 16-15.
Yeah, maximum effort by the Spartans that time. 2 shots hit the crossbar, and that was the story of the game seemingly those last few minutes. And the Queens Royals advance to the next round, 16-15. What a game. They will play Sunday at noon against the winner of the Rollins Tars and the Florida Southern Moccasins.
And so the winners get 4-goal performances from both Hannah Scott and Kara Blanchard, not to mention a hat trick from Allie Blood. And the Spartans, they get a 5-goal effort from Carly Vaccaro and a hat trick of their own from Maggie Gladden, but it's not enough as they fall 1 goal short, and disappointing after they had themselves leads in this game of 4-1. They also led 11-6. And Queens just never gave up, never said die. And lo and behold, they come south from North Carolina and grab themselves a victory and keep their 2019 season alive.
And what a season for the Tampa Spartans. A historical one. They make their first NCAA tournament appearance. They host, and they gave it everything they had. Obviously not the way they wanted to go out, but they gave it everything they had. And like we said, it's a matter of inches, and that's what it was.
And boy, what can you say about Chase Brokaw, the Queens goaltender? She finishes with 14 saves and leads her team to victory. Our final score here this afternoon, Queens 16, Tampa 15. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good afternoon.